First was the Memorial Day haul, second was the Amazon Prime Day haul, and now third is the Labor Day haul. Yep, this is our next regular Blu-ray update, and this is specifically what I've gotten during this past weekend, or should I say this past Friday, September the 2nd, where I went to Walmart and Elite Games to see what Blu-rays they have in stock, any of them that I have seen. And there are 3 used ones and 1 infamous one that you are probably seeing to the right, but we'll get to that one last. So I got 2 new editions, one something that you'll get to a little bit later, and then of course the last one. So let's begin up with one I already have, but has an individual copy. Alright, so you might notice what I have already standing over here, because this was what I got in the Memorial Day weekend, which was the Hobbit trilogy Blu-ray set with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And now here's an individual copy of The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Now, the reason I have an individual copy is 3 reasons. 1, because it is my favorite of the Hobbit trilogy. 2, I already have an individual copies of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. And second, because it has a slipcover. And I was like, I could not deny this, because having a slipcover is something unique that a lot of Blu-rays don't have. Which I really wish I could fill almost all of them finding good Blu-ray slipcovers. I know there's a site for that, but I don't want to waste my money at the time being. So, sometimes you usually get lucky, and the original owner for this still kept the cover. So this is one of the 3 that I got at Elite Games. It's one of the places other than Books A Millions here in my area that sells used Blu-rays and specifically used Blu-rays at that store specifically, which is right next to a Crumbling Cookies that was just open already in the summer. So, yeah, it is my favorite of the Hobbit trilogy. I really did enjoy it. It was nominated for sound editing, lost to American Sniper. I know a lot of critics didn't really like this. Now, I have yet to watch the Lord of the Rings, The Ring of the Power series. That's on Amazon Prime, but honestly, I have no interest in that series because I probably knew that was gonna fail, and it looks like it is getting a lot of positive for critics, but audience receptions is not liking that. Where I have seen that before. Oh yeah, some of the Disney Plus series from Star Wars and Marvels. I mean, they're not my cup of teas, but just massive critic and audience differences. Oh my gosh. So this I do think is my favorite of the Hobbit trilogy, and I'm glad I got an individual copy of this. The only 2 films of the series that I need to find individual copies are The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, which is my least favorite of the film series, and my favorite one of the film series, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. But I am glad to get my favorite Hobbit movie an individual copy of this, so I'm glad for that. Now I'm going to put in the other 2 used Blu-rays that I got at Elite Games, and they are Disney's Into the Woods and Pixar's Monsters University. So yeah, we got 2 Disney Blu-rays here. So Into the Woods was one of the fewest films I needed to watch. For those who don't know, I'm kind of trying to catch up on a lot of the Oscar movies of the 2010s that I missed, specifically from 2010 through 2015. This was one of the films from 2014 I didn't watch after the post-movie award season, and I saw this on Disney Plus, and I really did enjoy this one. And it's kind of interesting because soon, as of this recording, the Broadway revival is about to close pretty soon. That Broadway revival had Brian Darcy James, and had Sarah Bareilles, which I think she had left the show already, Phillipe Sue from Hamilton. By the way, Brian Darcy James, of course, is notable in Broadway musicals like Titanic, Shrek, Something Rotten, and the off-Broadway musical Irving Berlin's White Christmas. So, if you know your Macy's Parade history, you know who he looks like, and especially in the movie Spotlight. Sarah Bareilles, as I mentioned, Julie Lester from High School Musical, the series, and I mentioned Phillipe Sue from Hamilton. And this one, of course, has Emily Blunt, James Corden. I think it was like this was before he started his talk show. Anna Kendrick, Meryl Streep. I forget who the Broadway star was. I forget who she was, but she was in the Broadway musical version of Annie, if I'm mistaken. And there was also, I forgot, the young actor who was in the 2012 adaptation of Les Miserables who played Jack. But it also had Chris Pine and Johnny Depp in the first half hour of the movie. And, of course, Meryl Streep as the witch, who was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, since it was kind of technically an ensemble movie, but I do consider James Corden to be the lead of the movie, I would say. It was nominated, of course, for Streep, losing to Patricia Arquette for Boyhood, and it was also nominated for Production Design and Costume Design, both losing to The Grand Budapest Hotel. I did enjoy this one, a very unique, interesting adaptation of the Stephen Sondheim musical. I know this is going to be some hate for this, but I think out of all the actors, the MVP of this movie, I think for me, who wanted to give the best performance was James Corden. And if you're wondering what my favorite song of that musical, it's, no pun intended, Your Fault. As for Monsters University, I am not really a big fan of this film, but I kind of did enjoy it for what it was. And there were actually two of these that were at Elite Games, but one of them was a little bit more expensive, around $7, and this was like around $5. So I decided to get the more cheaper one. And by the way, none of the two did not have slipcovers, so that's the reason why I didn't purchase it. It's kind of interesting because the Monsters, Inc. movies are not really my thing. Not even maybe also the series where it's going at the moment with the first season, after the first season, but we'll see how the second season goes whenever we get to that show. But I did watch this, I believe the first time was either for its DVD release or when, if I'm mistaken, it was playing during lunch at our middle school. So, like, this was, I think, one of the principals had the DVD of it, and because in the middle school there was, like, a big, giant TV screens, and I thought, oh, are they going to play, like, channels, like, from Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or something like that? But no, they just play movies, because I believe it was this, The Croods, Turbo, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, and also, the Disney live-action movie Holes. And I believe also Daddy Daycare, Daddy Daycare as well, so that was kind of like in the second half of that school year, so that was back 8th grade for me, so I don't remember if this was one or not, but I did enjoy it for what it was. And finally, it's Morbius. I'm not going to reveal much about why I have this on Blu-ray, and it's not because of the memes or anything like that. I'm not going to give my thoughts here because I want to save it for the Spider-Man ranking when I ever get to that video, hopefully, probably sometime maybe this month or next month. Now, this is the one I got at Walmart, and it does come with this exclusive Walmart cover, slipcover specifically. Now, I didn't really want to get this specifically because of the slipcover, but it was the only Blu-ray of Morbius that was available because the only other ones were DVDs and 4Ks. So, I could have went to Target, but I was not in the mood for Target. So, yeah, and besides, since it is a slipcover, it is a very unique slipcover that Walmart has done. They've done this with all their Spider-Man movies and a couple of other ones, but this is a very unique one, I must say, with all the blackness, but then you do get, like, the logos in the back here, so I'm not going to give my thoughts here on this movie specifically. I want to save this for the Spider-Man ranking when that ever came to be, so I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm not going to go into my thoughts here, so you have to wait and see where this movie is going to be placed. I will say it's not last, and it's not first. So yeah, that was kind of a quick Blu-ray update, which is the Labor Day haul. Not really much. Kind of also, there wasn't really a lot of movies I've seen yet that were on stock. Most notably, a lot of the 2022 movies, with the exception of Morbius. Or a couple of movies I am interested to watch that would definitely not be an Oscar contender. So if you do enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. Yeah, you know the whole thing. So not really as much. So we'll see how the next regular Blu-ray update goes. Probably for the holidays. We'll get another, if we can get another Criterion one. We didn't have one for August. Maybe this month, but we'll just have to wait and see.